Yo, what's up guys? Today we got a new update with Halloween stuff, etc. And so for this video, I am going to be checking out something that they did. So first up guys, they added blessings in the game. We'll check that out in a new video. But right now we are checking out the ultimate units guys, because all the ultimate units got buffed / reworked. So we're going to be seeing which ones are now the best. Is that a new time icon? Interesting. So let's go pull it up and get it poppin'. But before we do, there is a new code as well. The new code is Spooky Scary Skeletons. All right, there we go. Oh, wow, it is a gem code, guys. Let's go. I'll take that any day. Here we go. All right, so first thing we're going to notice, guys, on our first unit, Akainu, is that they actually raised Akainu's price. So Akainu used to cost $1,500, but now Akainu is going to cost $3,000. All right, but in addition to him getting buffed, cost, which kind of is bad, but it's worth it because they made him a whole lot better of a unit. So let's go quickly upgrade our farm so we can max out the rest of these ultimates and take a quick look. So here we go. Let's wait for this wave skip in a second, and then we can place this bad boy down. All right, here we go. All right, here we go. Perfect. And bang, there you go guys. He's now doing 17,000 damage. Back in the day he used to do 3,000, so that's a really big buff. And of course he also has burn as well, making him a really good unit. All right, there we go, and there we go. Looking good, looking good. That's what we're talking about. All right, here we go. Let's get the next upgrade. 28,000, 3.8 cooldown. All right, not bad at all. So they also increased his range, which is good. So I'll definitely take that. They slightly increased it. Also, they did a big increase on his damage. He's doing way more damage now. Like before, he used to max out at like 50k, and now he's doing 50k on his third upgrade. All right, now also, yeah, his cooldown does remain the same though. They didn't change that. And look at that AoE, guys. He just blasted that. He's one of the biggest AoEs in the game. All right, guys. So to max out Fleet Admiral Akainu, you're looking at 130,000 damage. 46k cost. So they did make the cost quite a bit more expensive, but honestly not that much more expensive. It's mainly his placement cost. His total cost didn't change that much, so very big W buff on Akainu. All right, next up we have Kizaru. Now Kizaru also got a lot of W buffs. They made him a lot more expensive though. You're gonna see he's actually 1750 to place now, but what they did is make his AoE way bigger. All right, oh wait, that's the wrong guy. What am I doing? I thought I placed this guy down. All right, here we go. Yeah, you can see they made his AoE a lot bigger. And they also lowered his cooldown a lot. So now his cooldown starts at 4.2. Alright. Okay, he's still kind of buggy, but... Alright, that's fine though. So we'll max him out real quick so you guys can see his stats to make this video not too long. Alright, so now his stats are going to be 2.20 instead of 4.30. So, and he has bigger AoE, and he has just slightly more damage, and he's slightly more expensive. And it looks like you can still place down too. So that's cool. All right, next up we have our boy Dark Gone. Now Dark Gone also got a pretty nice buff. They did make him a lot more expensive though, but they did make his cooldown a little bit better, and they kind of just made him overall a slightly better unit. So we'll take a look at all his upgrades in a second. All right, 15,000 for 5, 4.5 for 28, 41 for 4, 68 for 3.5. And then ends with a slightly better cooldown, and it looks like probably about a 50% damage buff as well, which is pretty nice. Hard to complain about that. So Dark Gone got a pretty nice W buff. All right, next up we have Mob. Mob also got a pretty decent buff as well. They made his AoE a lot bigger, which is very nice. And they looks like they did not increase his cost at all either, so that's really nice as well. All they did was basically just make his stats a lot better. You're gonna see he attacks a lot faster and does a lot more damage now, and you can still place too. So they definitely buff Mob's damage quite a bit. So Mob buff's a pretty big W. All right, here we go. Teriyaki. All right, Teriyaki. They actually lowered Teriyaki's cost, but they also actually kept his damage the same, / just tweaked it a little bit. So it's just slightly different. So now Teriyaki's a little bit cheaper, but he's still kind of mid. If we compare him to Mob, Mob is more expensive, but you can see Mob is just pretty much a better unit. You're losing a little bit of damage, but you're getting that back in cooldown. So honestly, they're pretty balanced. But Mob does have a nicer AoE though, so I think Mob might have a slight edge. All right, let's go move on to the next set of units. All right, here we go, guys. Let's get it cracking. All right, we have round number 2. Wow, these units are all a lot cheaper. Interesting. So let's go see how they buff these units in Ultimate Tower Defense. Now, I don't know why it keeps making me wait for so long for the match to start. Kind of a little bit weird, but is what it is. But let me know, guys, if you want to see me do all the Divine buffs, because the Divines got buffed as well. And here's Power's Blessing, I guess, if you want to see that. All right, first up, you know what? Let's start off with Power. So Power's buff, let me see what her buff is real quick. All right, Power's buff was actually a lot simpler than I imagined. Yeah, so basically you're gonna see her cooldown is a lot less than it used to be. I don't know if I remember her cooldown being that high, but apparently her cooldown is a lot faster now, and they kept her price the same. At least that's what they said. So looks like you're getting some pretty much free DPS. Now, I will say they made a lot of the other Divines better, so I guess technically she's not as good as she used to be in relation to other Divines. But, I mean, honestly, she's a decent Ultimate. You can still place 2. All right, so first upgrade, I think the only thing that changed about her is she attacks a lot faster. Her damage is apparently the exact same, so we're not going to get hung up on her too much, but there you go. All right, next up we have Denji. So let's go place Denji down. So Denji, it looks like his cost is the same, but actually they buffed him a lot. So okay, so it looks like they slightly lowered his damage, but they drastically made his attack faster. So it looks like he now has a 2.4 cooldown, but he has very slightly less damage. So not a terrible thing, but not great. All right, next up we have Miriam. All right, Miriam already got 1 buff. So back in the day, if you guys don't remember, they added Burn to Miriam. So actually, they give Miriam a really nice buff. So he is slightly more expensive, but price doesn't really matter too much in this game. But he looks like he's doing over 50% more damage on each attack, except for his last one, which is only a slight increase. So he's a lot better on his earlier upgrades now. But his last upgrade isn't that great, but he's still a pretty decent unit if you guys are into burn units. So not bad at all. All right, next up, we have our boy Ichigo. So let's check out what Ichigo's buff is. I don't know if they're going to buff him. Oh, wait, actually he has a lot of buffs, but he also has some nerfs. So it looks like they actually increased his cooldown, at least off the rip. So right now his cooldown starts at 9, which is crazy. But what they did do is they increased his range to 35. Maybe they tweaked it a little bit more, but they did increase his range a little bit. But I think these stats aren't, they changed them again. So they're tweaking the stats a little bit. Or maybe mine has like strong or something on it, I forget. It looks like the cost is now a lot more though. Oh wait, that's the wrong, no, this is the right Ichigo. Yeah, so it looks like they drastically increased the cost. Let me see if they messed it up a bit, because this is the wrong, these stats aren't accurate. I don't know, man. Well, yeah, so yeah, it is kind of accurate. Here we go. So basically they increased the cooldown a lot, and they slightly increased his range, and they didn't change his damage at all. So overall, I don't know, more range. I don't know if it's really, this guy kind of got, I would say, probably a slight nerf. So there you go, guys. Those are all the ultimates in the game and their nerfs and buffs. All right, let me know if you guys want to see me do this video for all of the Divine units, all right? And enjoy the new update. Peace out.